So right now, I'm looking at talking to you, and the news is on, and they're still talking about this want to be assassin 20-year-old.
Yes.
And guess what? What do they always say? You can't what?
Can't take it
You
with you?
can't combat crazy. There's no way you
Oh,
can
combat crazy. Oh,
with,
yeah, sure.
with any kind of security you have.
Yeah.
It's always that one-off dude that's just like,
Right, yeah.
you don't, you try to expect it, but you can't counter it
Well, and like,
because you
here's the
don't know
thing.
when it's going to happen.
Right, and this guy was a firefighter, too, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I think the guy was a firefighter.
Nah, he was like a 20-year-old, misguided
Oh, is that all it was?
guy.
Okay.
So,
Well, maybe it was one of the shooting victims who was a firefighter, but I know somebody was a firefighter.
It was one. It was one. Is the guy that got killed who was
Okay.
a firefighter.
Okay. All right.
This guy was just a lunatic.
Yeah.
With a rifle, and never mind. But yeah, he was just a lunatic, crazy dude.
Yeah. The thing that bothers me about that whole situation, and is because you're going to get probably some lunatic on the far right who's like, well, he tried to go after ours, so we're going to have to try to go after one of theirs. Once again,
You know what? What happened, I believe, was that first of all, I think the Secret Service did what they did was right. I think local law enforcement messed up. And I think they thought there was some lax tendencies because they said, oh, this fucking rural area, this fucking Trump country,
I know exactly where Butler, Pennsylvania is too. I got a friend of mine from there, and it's bumfuck middle western Pennsylvania. There ain't nothing out there.
Yeah, ain't nothing out there. So they're like, oh, this is fucking Trump country. And then, unbeknownst to everybody, got this crazy dude who just, who was a bad shot. They even kicked him off the rifle team at the high school because he's a bad shot.
Right.
They said, he can't, and he proved it, know. And that's no slap at, Trump or anything trying to be assassinated.
Right.
Dude was a bad shot. And he proved it. And but it'd have been crazy to wake up the next day.
I mean, could you imagine if this guy had gone to the military, it was an actual good shot and a sniper, we'd be having a different conversation right now.
And the next day in America would be a different fucking place.
Right.
Well, first of all, we are in a fucking civil war. We're in the beginnings of a civil war. We have the most populous armed nation
in history.
In the world.
In history.
So by proxy,
right.
If you don't even own a gun, you own a gun.
Right.
Because there's more guns than Americans.
Yeah, go figure. Right.
Yeah. So, could you imagine the next day waking up to that shit?
Yeah, it'd be pretty.
This country would never have. It would have been.
It would have been bad.
Bad times.
Right.
And I don't know if this country could regain
its footing after that.
Its footing after that. I don't think so.
I agree. Yeah. And say what you will, about people's politics and this and that. I mean, people gotta dial this shit back some. I mean, because you know what? At the end of the day, yeah, you may believe this, you may believe that, but the answer to, the answer is not to be knocking off your political rivals with snipers. I mean, that's just not the answer.
Yeah, and we fool ourselves here in America by saying, "No, we don't do things like that." Yes, we do. We
Yes,
have
we do.
we have a history of knocking off motherfuckers that we don't agree with.
Right.
You know, whether
There was
it's
an
by
attempted assassination of Teddy Roosevelt back in the early 1900s. For one,
so you got
every,
Lincoln,
Lincoln, everything that happened in the 60s,
you got
RFK,
Kennedy boys.
JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
So we have a history of that, and we
We do.
shouldn't lie about it. Say, we're better
But
than that
cool,
because
yeah,
guess
but
what?
cooler has
We're
prevailed in the
not.
past, though. I mean, and to a point.
We're
These
not
days
better than that.
everything. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying we're not better than that shit.
Oh yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah, I just say back then cooler has prevailed. Versus now, I think everything is just even more tribal than it was before. The amount of misinformation is tenfold due to the internet and social media and like everything else. So
So, do you think it's just individuals out there who are giving out misinformation, or do you believe that there is an actual organized group that puts um, bad information out there because they know that these other motherfuckers are going to agree with that shit
and act
and
on it.
fucking stir the pot?
To answer your question, yes, I think it's a combination of individuals, and then you also have, small groups of people or small organizations who are doing the same thing, feeding the
Okay,
fires.
so
So,
now that I said that, what do you think is their proposed outcome for this? Because let's let's call a spade a spade.
sure,
This country, yes, it may be right now majority white, but guess what? It's never going to be majority white again. You can't put that genie in the bottle. You can't stop all abortions and have you know legal immigration for all Europeans from other different countries to come in to repopulate this country as a white nation. It's just not going to happen. So, what do you think is their outcome?
um, to answer your question, I'm going to put these type of people in the same group of religious extremists, if you would. Oh, we have to foster this type of bullshit, even though they don't believe it's bullshit, but we have to foster this type of bullshit ideology or whatever to usher in a new age, the end of times, end of the world. I put them all in the same category. Just like you got people who, um, feels like, okay, well, according to my holy book, because these things are happening now, this is going to usher this in, so we have to hurry up and accelerate this. So the end of time comes and the apocalypse and the return of the prophets or this or that, whatever you believe in. And so I put all those people in the same group.
you know, um, and I think that's the crux to find out. Like, all right, what is the end game on either end? Who benefits and who doesn't?
Nobody benefits if you have somebody on the far left or the far right getting their way. Nobody benefits because
All right, so if you believe that and nobody benefits, then why should one person have $1 trillion and own 4 million acres of land? What is the benefit?